Breast implant illness. This will be the topic of today. And while we're going to be talking about that, I want to share that I decided that breast implant illness is a great topic to talk about. As I was invited into a group 2 years ago, and there were 60,000 women in there, and now today there's over 160,000. And being in there, I have heard stories and found, some friends of mine that are in there. And I have one particular friend, my very dear friend here in the Minneapolis area that has breast implant illness so severe it's made her super, super, super ill. And we're going to try to get her to come on live. And all these notifications are driving me crazy. Hey, Peggy, how are you? And I wanted to do a live about it this evening because I'm going to be doing a talk about breast implant illness in Clubhouse tomorrow. And so I don't even know how Facebook is going to even let me, share this video out or not. I have no idea. They have this thing about different illnesses and all these different things. So I don't even know how this is going to work. But we're going to try it anyway and see what happens. But honest to goodness, my Clubhouse notifications are insane. It's just one right after the other. That place is pretty amazing, though. There's a lot of really great entrepreneurs in there. There's people like Grant Cardone. There's all kinds of other. Hi, Connie, how are you? There's all kinds of just really established millionaires, billionaires that are in there. It's just been amazing. The place it's like listening to radio and or a podcast, only you're listening to it in live. And then you can actually raise your hand and, get brought up on the stage of the platform or whatever you want to call it. And then, you can ask your question and you can, chat a little bit and you get to they'll bring you on stage. And so you can actually learn to build your following. All right. So Laura's with us. I'm going to bring her on. Hopefully, let's see what I can do here. Okay, how do we do this? And add. I'm gonna add Laura, and then she's gotta accept. Adding. Oh my gosh, seriously. All right, hopefully Laura, you can get on. I think you have to accept it. Or we might have a challenge because we're connecting. Yay! Hey girl.
Hey.
Awesome, I can hear you. This is great.
Good.
So everyone, Laura and I are super great friends. We have been friends forever. And this girl has got my back. I totally got her back. And she was going through some really serious illnesses. And I said, I want you to check something out because I had heard about breast implant illness. And so again, like I said from the beginning, I was brought into a group of 60,000 women 2 years ago. And today there's over 160,000 women. And as I've been sharing my story, I've had some really incredible friends of mine that I didn't even know were having any challenges, message me in Messenger. And so I've connected them with this group. And they've come back to me, and I have now connected them with a doctor that Laura has referred me to. And Laura and I have been going through this experience together for quite a while. And so we were talking earlier, and I didn't even realize. I was cracking up. I go, okay, Laura. I said, will you come on live with me and talk about what we just talked about? So I had gone to see her and her mom. They have this beautiful, quaint little restaurant, tea restaurant in Red Wing. It's gorgeous. You'll have to go there yourself someday. And anyway, so I brought it to Laura's attention. I said, I think you might have breast implant illness because I know she has implants. And Laura, I'm going to let you go ahead and finish the story because it was brilliant.
So Shelly had come down to see me, and she had known that I was going through a lot of physical symptoms, and I had been seeing specialists and so on and so forth. And she presented this breast plant illness to me. And I just kind of shook my head and was like, yeah, great, sure, whatever. And she left, and I was like, she's crazy. I'm like, these beautiful babies aren't making me sick. And I was wrong.
And she does have beautiful boobies too, by the way.
Yeah, they're just killing me though.
Yeah. So And so the reason that I even questioned that she even had it is because she was very lethargic. She was having a hard time functioning. She's been missing work. And Laura, why don't you talk a little bit about the symptoms that you've had? Because I know that even the last few months, you have been so extremely ill that you've had to go to the hospital. And I want you to talk to that too, that you've had to go to the hospital too and get bags of saline to get hydrated because you haven't been able to keep food down. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So over the last 2 months it has just progressively gotten to the point where I am pretty much almost non-functioning on a day. I will spend, for every day that I'm up, I will spend at least 3 to 4 just in bed. I mean, just not able to function. And I used to be, as my kids would call me, Wonder Woman. I was a firefighter, I was a medic. I was the mom that we're going to do everything. And now I am just a person that just lays in bed because I am so fatigued and I am so nauseous and I am in so much pain just all the time. It's just ridiculous. I feel like I am a 90-year-old woman. And the problem is that every test comes back great. You know, we can't find anything. There's this, there's that, whatever. And it starts to make you think that you are literally crazy. And I've had multiple ER visits because my, geez Louise, my intestines and my bowels and everything are just so messed up that I can dehydrate myself between going to the bathroom and vomiting within a day. And then I'll end up in the hospital. But the kicker is that for all the times that I've ended up in the hospital, only one time was I not treated like a crazy person, because I will go there and I'll tell them all my symptoms. And I have a laundry list of symptoms, so much more. And I either get treated like I am somebody they're chasing for pain medication, or I am looked at like somebody that has no validity in what they're saying. And I have worked in emergency medicine since 2005. So I'm not a complete idiot, but the feeling that was given to me was a very, very unsupportive environment. And it really messes with your psyche, and you're really not sure, you know, what to think and where to go. And oh my God, am I crazy? You know, is this going to be my life? Because this is a sad life. You know, I have a beautiful 8-year-old grandson that when he's here, you know, our day consists of us watching movies in bed. How fun is that? You know, he's only little once. I'm missing that. I'm missing time with my son, with my daughter, and my life. I've canceled so many plans that I don't even care to talk about because it's so upsetting, because I cannot get up. Because like I was talking with Shelly earlier today, if I decide that I'm going to just wash my hair, that's all I'm going to do for the day, because I'm wiped out after that shower. That's washing your hair. Like, I didn't build a deck. I washed my hair, but that will keep me down. And I have always been a high energy, you know, in your face kind of woman, you know, always on the go, go, go. And this has completely taken my life away. And I'm, you know, like I said, Shelly and I talking earlier, when she first presented this to me, I thought for sure, I was like, this girl is crazy. Like, this is, gosh, no. And then I reluctantly went onto this breast implant illness page that she had forwarded me. And as I was reading all of these women's symptoms, it was like reading my own medical jacket. And I was like, oh my God. Well, oh my God. And well, this is making sense. And this is making sense. And then I really started to think back, because I've had 4 sets of implants. And when I really started to look back, it was my 4th set that, I'm going to say, almost within a month of having those, I started to have all these health problems. Whereas before, I didn't even go to the doctor. And then all of a sudden, I'm having GI issues. I had to get my gallbladder out. More surgeries for exploratory stuff than I even care to talk about. I developed cardiac issues. I was diagnosed with lupus. I just went through the biggest scare of having possible cancer, and it, just like just every horrible thing under the sun. And I just was like, this is crazy. Like, this is absolutely crazy. And thankfully, I have the best primary doctor, Jennifer Kaiser, wherever you are, who has never judged me and has never looked at me like I was a hypochondriac or a chaser for meds or anything. She sat and literally wanted to help me figure this out. And it was Dr. Kaiser that introduced me to Dr. Kyan, who is a plastic surgeon who's also with M Health. And when I met with Dr. Kyan, that visit was basically me ugly crying the entire visit, because I'm so frustrated I mean, you should have seen what it took me to even be able to get to that visit. I mean, I know I look like I'm happy now and all is good, but that's because I'm running on pure adrenaline because these girls are coming out tomorrow. But I know. But when I got to Dr. Kyan's office, I was probably at the lowest point in my life, to where I don't know if I would have honestly made it much longer, because nobody should have to live like this ever. And Dr. Kyan was just so supportive and just listened, and she just had it all figured out. And I gave her my insurance, and she called me the very next morning and told me that she got my insurance to take care of it. And it was right up there with giving birth to my kids. So just
when you told me right away, I could have birthed the kid.
Sure.
I'm so excited.
For sure. For sure. But it's just been, this whole journey has been crazy. And Shelly and I know quite a few women that do have breast implants. And, we are getting older. Not that matters with this illness, because there are girls out there that are 20 years old that will tell you the same thing. I feel like I'm a 95-year-old woman. And I want to be able to at least put my story out there and say, hey, I was a complete non-believer. Again, I thought Shelly was crazy. And then when I really started to look into it and and really, really get into it, it made sense. And yeah, I think what kind of just put it over the edge was the lupus diagnosis. And I was like, I don't have lupus. Like, I'm miserable and I'm in pain all the time. But anyway, on and on with that. But even hematologists have told me I have a cryoglobin that is in my blood. And it is because my body is fighting so much inflammation all the time. And your body is not meant to do that. It's exhausting. So
yes,
I don't know who's out there or who will watch this or anything, but I hope that at some time, if you are suffering and you don't really think it's anything and you have implants, to just have an open mind and just, maybe take a look at some other things that could maybe lead you to make an informed decision instead of an MD. And I'm all for doctors, but instead of an MD who can't feel what you're feeling and can't diagnose what's going on with you, to tell you that it's in your head, because that will help keep you sick so much longer.
Absolutely. I can totally relate with that, because that's what my doctor said to me. I kept going in my first set too, because I've had new implants for 9 years, and my first set too. And I kept saying it was when I was married, and I said, oh my God, I seriously think there's something at this. I think it's these implants. And at that time too, I couldn't even find anything out about the illness, because I had been in that whole lawsuit that happened with the breast implants, but I was fine through most of that period until towards the end. And then I thought, well, I'll just get them taken out and just get new ones put in, because I had heard it was like every 10 years you should get new ones in anyway. And my doctor was like, you can have them for life, they're not going to matter. And I'm like, yeah, but there was so much stuff that was going on, and even sexually, libido wise, like I couldn't even, I was like dead inside, like there was like nothing going on. And oh, did you pop up? It says you want to be in my video.
Am I gone?
I can see you.
Okay, then we're fine.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
And who knows? And so it was so crazy, because my doctor too, they even wrote it in my records. I was a hypochondriac. And I'm like, seriously? Like, I'm not imagining these things. Like, I feel sick. Like, I can't function. Something's going on. And hey, Heather. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, yeah, it is very real. Yeah, it is. It's for real. The struggle is real.
For sure.
And so I had, up until, weirdly, I went to show Dr. Cayenne. I'm like, I have these red blotches all over. And it was like, I only have one left on my leg. I go, I think it went to my brain. It was like, what? And I go, well, something happened to him, because I've had him up until I just go to show you. Now they're not here. I've had him for like going almost 3 years. So I wear long sleeve shirts all the time, even in the summertime. People are like, are you hot? Are you hot? Like, yeah, but I'd rather be dressed than all these spots. And people are like, what's that? What's that? What's that? Right?
Because you looked like you were literally bleeding from the inside out, but in just patches. It was odd.
Yes. So then I'm like, well, it must have gone in my brain, because now this last month for me, I couldn't remember where my car was. The other day, Ashley came home. She had put brand new locks in the front door, and I left my keys in it. Like, I'm like, what the hell? And like, I have left the stove on. I have left the coffee pot's not a big deal, but the stove is obviously a big deal. So every single thing that I have done this last 30 days, especially, I have to stop, make sure that I check what I'm doing. And I really have to be careful too, when I let our dog out, that I don't shut the door, because if I shut the door, I'm not going to remember that I let her outside.
Yeah, the brain fog is.
Yep, it is so crazy. Yep,
it's
so I'm
terrible.
so I'm afraid I'm going to kill our dog. So I'm like, oh my God. So everything is like on high alert, and I hate it. I don't like living like this. And I'm like, that's it. So for Dr. Cayenne with me too. So when I went in and saw her today, so everyone, just let you know, Laura is going to get her breast implants explanted tomorrow. Yay! I'm so happy for her.
Me too.
God, she's been telling you a story, but I have seen her, like, and I have heard her, and this poor girl, like, I just want to like swoop her up and just, fix all her ailments. And she's like been one of the sickest I've seen. But in this group that has 160,000, there was just a lady 30 days ago that committed suicide because she just couldn't deal with the pain anymore, and the doctor's not believing her. And that whole lawsuit from the 90s that happened with us women that got breast implants has made it may have helped in that realm to help women get their implants out. But now no doctor wants to talk about it because of fear of getting sued. So Laura and I have gotten really, really lucky and very fortunate that Dr. Cayenne is doing our surgeries. She's such a sweet lady. I'm so looking forward to it. So Laura's is tomorrow, mine's next week. And it is, breast implant is real. The illness is real. And so Laura and I wanted to come on tonight because we decided today too, because we have so many friends, that we're going to be more diligent too, and being able to have the information that you require. We're going to be advocates for you. We're going to be those breast implant go-toers that, because we've lived, breathed it, implanted, explanted. And so we know what we're talking about. We have many friends that have it. I have a dear friend too, who's actually in our company. Laura's in the same company as I am too. We're partnered with the Global Fulfillment Center. And one of our top millionaires in our company had it so bad that she literally almost died. So not only is Laura on top of that list, but so is Tracy. Her name's Tracy O'Malley. Tracy's very okay with me sharing her name. You can Google her. You can research her. You find her on Facebook, and she will be more than happy to tell you her story. The stuff that she went through, it just blew my mind. And I don't want to get to that point. Laura's not at that point yet either. We're both able at a place where we can actually save ourselves. And Laura's going to take some time for some pretty serious detoxification for sure. Hers was definitely more serious than mine, but it can happen. So, and the whole other side of that is too, is that we can definitely add you into the group where we definitely have that right to do that, because we definitely want to advocate for your health as much as we're advocating for ours. So we appreciate that you're in this journey with us. We're going to keep coming back. We're going to keep telling and sharing those stories, and we're here for you. And Laura, is there anything else that you'd like to add for us before we leave?
Sure. I just don't want anybody to feel like you're crazy, that you don't feel validated in the things that you're feeling. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling fatigued, if you're not able to function, just know that you are supported and that there are some of us out here that have gone through this and are going through the process to fix it, and that we are here. But don't feel like you are crazy. Don't feel like you're a hypochondriac. Don't feel like you're a chaser. You know, this is real. This is absolutely real, and don't feel alone. Just don't give up. Okay? Don't give up.
Thank you so much, Laura, for talking with me about this tonight. Good luck in your surgery tomorrow. I know it's going to be better. Before we end, let's just talk one little second about that. So for both of us, I'm actually going to bring you back on, if you don't mind, in the next couple days.
Sure.
I want to talk about too why you didn't want to get rid of your implants.
Lord.
Obviously, we got it because we wanted to look different, and you know, that's a whole different story, but yours comes from your relationship.
Yep.
And so how much so that affected you in your thought process about why you felt you needed to keep your implants. So yes. I want to talk to you in a couple days about that. So we'll let our audience know. I'm going to say, what day are we on? Monday?
Monday.
Your surgery's Tuesday. So you're going to be healing for a couple days. So we'll say next week. We'll come back. We'll talk about that. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. And this is Shelly Jean at Grandma's on a Mission. And I look forward to, well, actually, I will be here all week, but we'll come back with Laura next week and we'll talk further more about that. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.